can't check in, you're not an adult. There's two of me. Double the trouble, am I right?
Rachel Zegler's name has become synonymous with controversy. Once celebrated as a breakout star with a golden voice and promising career trajectory, her public image has spiraled into something far more complex and far more divisive. Her latest project, the indie film She Gets It From Me, was supposed to be the clean slate she desperately needed after the Snow White disaster. Instead, it's rapidly becoming a case study in how a once-celebrated talent can alienate both audiences and colleagues through a blend of entitlement, missteps, and an apparent unwillingness to self-reflect. Zegler's post-West Side Story ascent should have been a fairy tale in its own right. She was the kind of rising star Hollywood loves to celebrate, young, diverse, charming on camera. But as the saying goes, talent may open the door, but it's character that keeps you in the room. And when Snow White began its promotional campaign, Zegler's glaring disconnect from the very legacy she was meant to carry became impossible to ignore. She mocked the original story, brushed off the love story trope, and made political remarks.
Jeffrey Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos, you did it!
So brazen that even supporters of her initial casting began to cringe. Her infamous "Trump supporters will never know peace" quip, made during press for what was supposed to be a family-friendly film, was the tipping point for many. It wasn't bold, it was reckless. It wasn't empowering, it was antagonistic. And the result? Fans stayed home. Critics dragged the project. Disney, a studio known for controlling its image with military-level discipline, watched helplessly as one of its flagship reboots collapsed under the weight of its own miscalculated messaging. Now, Zegler is trying to recenter herself through indie cinema. The project She Gets It From Me is smaller in scale and budget, a character-driven story that could have easily positioned her as a serious actress. Instead, just weeks into production, the wheels are already wobbling. According to insiders and crew leaks, production has hit snags, scheduling delays, creative clashes, and the kind of behind-the-scenes discontent that makes producers sweat. And at the center of it all, again,
I'm gonna be on a talk show tonight and I'm gonna talk shit about them on the talk show. Talking shit on the talk
is Rachel Zegler. Sources suggest that Zegler's involvement has become more of a complication than a contribution. From unexpected changes to scene blocking and rumors of difficult behavior on set, She Gets It From Me is shaping up to be less of a comeback and more of a continuation of Zegler's string of professional headaches. Unlike Disney, this indie crew doesn't have a massive PR engine to smooth things over. There's no Marvel machine, no ABC synergy to redirect attention. When things go wrong here, everyone feels it, especially a film operating on modest resources and tight deadlines. Zegler's critics argue that her entitlement has been her downfall. Instead of embracing the characters she's cast to play, she critiques them in the press. Instead of celebrating the classics she's reimagining, she distances herself from them as if ashamed. While some actors can get away with that, they usually do so from a place of hard-earned respect. Zegler hasn't earned that yet, and audiences are beginning to lose patience.
You shouldn't be cursing, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I have no self-control. Sorry.
The reception to She Gets It From Me hasn't even begun officially. No trailer, no posters, but the public has already made its stance known. Online forums are awash with mockery and memes. Reddit threads dissect her every move. Twitter trends turn into takedowns, and YouTube commentary channels have made her a recurring topic of dissection. When even a leaked photo from set sparks backlash, it's not a good sign. The disappointment is palpable. This was supposed to be a reset, a chance for Zegler to step away from the CGI-heavy, IP-dependent chaos of the Disney machine and show the industry what she can do with a grounded human story. Paired with respected actress Marcia To, the film had promise. Instead, rumors of creative clashes between the two are bubbling. To, known for her collaborative and professional demeanor, reportedly finds the working environment challenging. Translation: it's tense. And that tension is being attributed, once again, to Zegler's presence. The comparisons to Snow White's collapse are unavoidable.
The movie was absolutely terrible. It's not the single worst movie I've ever seen, but in every way.
There too, Zegler became the story for all the wrong reasons. What should have been a charming return to one of Disney's most beloved fairy tales became a saga of bad PR, clumsy politics, and strained public trust. She didn't just lose goodwill, she torched it. That's the weight she's now dragging into every new project. Worse, there's a growing sentiment among industry observers that Zegler hasn't learned anything. No reflective statements, no acknowledgement of her role in Snow White's failure. Just more red carpets, more bold quotes, and now more on-set whispers of difficulty. It doesn't read as growth. It reads as defiance, and not the kind that inspires, the kind that exhausts. Even those who once defended her are beginning to question their stance. She's young, they said. She's still learning. But how many lessons does one person need before their actions stop being chalked up to youth and start being categorized as patterns? And if her goal is longevity, Zegler's doing herself no favors.
To address the elephant in the room. I'm the hottest person in the world.
Her name now carries baggage. Not the interesting, kind, like a Joaquin Phoenix or a Shia LaBeouf, whose complexities add intrigue to their performances, but the kind that makes producers nervous. Her projects trend for the wrong reasons. Her press junkets veer into damage control, and her perceived lack of gratitude toward the industry that elevated her has become her Achilles heel. Take the Snow White failure. Disney reportedly spent nearly $270 million, with early estimates showing the film still $96 million in the red. A loss of that magnitude forces changes. And Zegler's behavior, her inability to handle press delicately, her public disdain for the original story, her polarizing sound bites, played a major role in alienating the very audience the film was supposed to court. Now with She Gets It From Me, there are whispers of similar dynamics playing out on a smaller but equally destructive scale. Except this time, there's no Disney behemoth to absorb the hit. A smaller film house like Embankment Films depends on clean execution and critical goodwill to generate momentum. Zegler's presence, rather than providing either, seems to be choking both. The question now isn't, can Rachel Zegler act? Clearly she can. It's whether she can carry a project without derailing it, whether she can promote a film without dividing audiences, whether she can understand that the very things that made her a breakout name are the same things that could bury her career if she continues to fumble them. Hollywood is brutal. It builds you up fast and tears you down even faster. And in a time when attention spans are short and controversy is currency, stars like Zegler must decide what kind of legacy they want to leave behind. Right now, her legacy is reading more like a cautionary tale than a comeback. If She Gets It From Me fails, and the pre-release whispers suggest it might, it won't just be another footnote in her resume. It could be the final straw for casting agents, producers, and fans alike. At some point, no matter how talented you are, if every set becomes a battleground and every interview becomes a minefield, the industry stops calling. It's not too late for Rachel Zegler to change course, but change requires recognition. Growth requires humility, and comebacks require silence long enough to let the work speak for itself. So far, Zegler has yet to show she understands any of that. If she doesn't soon, the next headline won't be about delays, tension, or bad interviews. It'll be about missed potential, and that might be the most tragic twist of all. So what do you think? Can Rachel Zegler still bounce back? Is Hollywood being too harsh, or has she earned the scrutiny? Should indie films like She Gets It From Me take risks on polarizing actors, or is it time for casting directors to look elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next deep dive into Hollywood's rising and falling stars.